KEFA.
Good night, Barbados. We are here with episode 2, Stars and KEFA. My name is Katrina Allen, President and founder of the Katrina Endometriosis Fund Association. And this month is Endo Month, and we continue to educate and spread awareness to the public about what endometriosis is.
Good night, everyone. My name is Christina.
Oh, me about talking, man.
Member
Oh, me about talking. Talk about talking. People hear me talking. They're talking about talking in front of you. You teach somebody, man, or something. Talk.
No, please.
Okay, good. That's what we're talking about. Talk again. You people hear you. You say you there, who?
I am Christina Blackman,
Uh-huh.
member of the Katrina Endometriosis Fund Association.
Well, look here, she doing. You probably gonna talk. All right, talk to me. Oh, yeah, so you but know me already. I introduce myself. You're up there. Well, I don't prepare the glasses. Nuisance. But talk to me, though. WWs.
So we are here tonight. We are going to be looking at behind the scenes of an endometriosis patient and what we go through as endo warriors, our experiences, our journeys, a lot of stuff that you guys would not see when we're out there on a day-to-day basis. So those who are not close to us will not know what happens behind the scenes, especially when you're on a low or you have that flare, even being hospitalized. So people that don't know us, accustomed to us smiling, looking all beautiful, and since it's, International Women's Day, I want to say good night to everybody and stay beautiful, be rude.
Thank you very much.
But endometriosis takes a lot from us individually, and it impacts not just us but our families, our spouses, our friends. So tonight we have Christina here, as I said earlier, and she's going to share her story with you, and we are going to get deep in the mix of endometriosis.
All right.
What's wrong with this one, Queen?
I don't know wrong with you. I told him alone. So you are an endometrious big word lion, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you had, how old you was when you find out that you had a change?
I would have been about 25.
About 40, 50 years ago.
25, yes.
About
About
50,
that
50
time.
years old.
I
Okay.
was about 25 when I started getting these symptoms, which started with a lot of pain.
Uh-huh.
And this is, it's just started with a period that was finished and severe pain. And I went from there just wondering what was going on, saw 2 doctors, and one said to me, maybe I have endometriosis, and this was about 2 years after that.
Uh-huh.
I had surgery at that time, both laparoscopic and the laparotomy. And at the end of that, she said she tested the tissue and it was not endometriosis. So my journey then was pain, don't know what is going on. And it was pain whether or not I had my period. And it went on.
You sure you are here? You bring to the bread, you bring to the bread, God, your stomach. Let cool engine. Bread here in your stomach.
And everything.
Let ginger tea roll.
Right. I did that, and it didn't work. I had the wonder of the world. I had all kind of things because you don't know what is going on, and because it's related to a period, people just assume that you're having a bad period. But I knew something was wrong because I had bad periods before, and then I have this. And I was going through a month after month where I have long periods, longer than usual in some months. And regardless of if my period was on or not, I had pain, excruciating pain.
Continuous. It's be continuous because there are patients with endometriosis that only have pain with the onset of menstruation.
Mhm.
But like us, we are in pain constant daily. We try to cope as much as we can because, we don't want that stigma attached or to think, or even in workplaces to think that people think that we are favorites or the boss favoring us.
Mhm.
But, it's a constant battle against yourself and there's nothing that you can do to fix the problem. And that is the major problem.
It is true. And I think what makes it difficult, like in my situation, you don't want, how do you go to your boss and say every month, I have a period and it is going to cause me to be at home for 2 days? You can't, I felt like I could not speak to even the female seniors about something like this because you're constantly complaining. You don't have a period and you are in pain and you're always tired. It takes a serious toll on your body.
I need to tell you something. Every worker with you, they got this truth. And then every minute, every month you take me 2 or 3 days home, I can feel doing it for purpose.
Exactly.
That is me. I thought the truth. I can feel the lip that you hurt, and every month, but everybody that is hurt now. What's so special about you? That you watch out for 1 week and 3 days off every day, so on.
But that is why I stress on workplaces getting familiar with endometriosis and people in authority to understand and educate themselves, because if you have a company that has 75% of women, 50% got endometriosis because it's every 1 in 10. 50% has endometriosis. Tell me, how is your productivity level is not going to drop? It can drop because 1, you can't function. 2, the bosses might be insensitive to your condition. And for me, it being real, if I'm working and I under the weather, but my boss understands, you can push because you can get the work done. But sometimes there are bosses that very humane. There's no empathy, and to me, I think that affects the workload as well. And I was fortunate back when I was working at the Ministry of Health. I had a boss that was very understanding, a boss and a secretary that were very understanding. And to be honest, it might sound bad, but he knew when my period was coming better than me. I tell you, the calendar was allotted because my period used to come on time every month. And he had it allotted on the calendar. So even if I forget when my period coming, I could go on and ask you. Imagine that.
But I say, right? No, dealing with the facts of life. If you work in a workplace, you will get research $300 a week time. And the man that working with you doing the same kind of work, he getting the same amount of money as you. And every man, you take a little 3 day, a little 4 day, and everything. Oh, he's a man, not me, I don't know. The man will get fed up, they're on the show, but this is a specialized treatment. This is belly hurt. My sister's got belly hurt just like she do. My sister's trying to take $2 when other people work. What makes it so special about she? That every man, she's to take 3 or 4 days home or 2 or 3 days home. But if she can't work like that, but she gets more money than me.
That is true, but we have no control over the.
I want to tell you how school is keep sometimes.
I know that. It's true. I know that. But at the same time, we as women too, we need to be more empathetic because it don't pick and choose. Endometriosis does not pick and choose. So you might say you got endometriosis, next week your sister got endometriosis, your cousin, your daughter. So it's something that just happens. You have no control. So ain't like, oh, she got endometriosis and I got it. Because a couple months down the road, you could get diagnosed with endometriosis. It's that simple.
Okay. Now tomorrow is a special day in the month of endometriosis awareness. You got a little something going on tomorrow.
Yes.
But talk to people, let people know.
So we are having our annual endometriosis seminar, Endomotion Level 2 at DB South Bend Total from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're going to have 5 speakers, 1 psychologist, and 4 doctors. These doctors will be elaborating on endometriosis, how to better manage endometriosis, Also looking at setting up an endometriosis center in Barbados, which we definitely need. Then there's another doctor we're talking about colorectal endometriosis. As you know, you can have endometriosis on the bowels, etc. So then you have endometriosis in adolescents. And to me, this is a very, very, very important topic because so many teenagers right now are dealing with the impact of endometriosis. And the impact is very, very great. Sometimes they don't know who to talk to, they don't know who they can relate to, and sometimes parents are not as understanding as they should. So parents, bring your daughters, come out, get educated, because who knows, you might be the person that has to deal with someone living with endometriosis.
It's not just a painful period.
And we're overreacting. We're overreacting. No way.
Yeah, it was hard because you do not know what is going on with you, and it was only this is years.
It's true
that I was suffering back and forth with this thing, and I am grateful now that there is an association like this, that we're able to raise awareness, because until I met Katrina, 6 years ago, if so much.
Yeah.
I had never met another person in Barbados who had this. My doctor had instructed me, Dr. Chase was so good. He had told me when I was first diagnosed, go online. There are groups of people in chats that you can get some information and try to talk to them. And I never knew about her until I met her in the hospital. Yeah,
it's true.
Late at night, nothing is going on, because both of us have been hospitalized so many times.
I think that we got shares by now. We got shares by
Yeah,
now.
well, I give up on my shares. I pray I never go back. But it was very difficult because it impacted then my entire family. Particularly my son.
We got Sunshine Bayface saying that her 16-year-old got it, and somebody asked him, how prevalent is this health problem for women?
Well, this issue is very prevalent, and not just in Barbados but worldwide. And on doing research at the hospital, when I was talking to a doctor about endometriosis, he said that 40% of the women that have surgery for fibroids, adenomyosis, cysts, etc., have endometriosis. And the thing about it is the diagnosis process takes so long that you just think it's a bad period to get misdiagnosed. Some people think they got IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. Adenomyosis, people say, oh, I was bleeding all the time, they think they have fibroids. But the thing about endometriosis that is so unique, I don't want to use the word unique because it is special. It gotta be special when you can't see it with an ultrasound.
Yep.
So if you don't got that money to get that laparoscopic surgery, or if you are not in a position where you have a doctor that would push for you to get a diagnosis, it's going to take you years on years, because it took me 20 years. Because as I said last week, it was okay to have bad periods. So if you don't got a bad period, you don't got the period, you want to do. You understand?
Yeah, that was considered normal. It's just a little worse for you. Come and drink some Wonder of the World, get a little ginger tea, get
careful.
Yeah.
Careful. I was a granny girl.
Yeah.
I was a granny girl.
I graduate some hot water bottles and all kind of things. And it is, how do you go to work? How do you keep a job?
How do you keep a mind? Or you don't want to talk
for a lot of people, it is painful sex. On top of everything else, you are extremely tired, unexplainably tired. There is, it can, if you don't have a partner who is understanding.
Look, what Oscar saying, men also need to know more about this, as it can create problems in relationships due to lack of knowledge.
Exactly, Oscar.
Because if you feel that you want to, you go put in that share, you feel that share while you're not in so.
Yeah, that will happen. And some men can't handle it.
You feel like, exactly. You mean, oh, some people are, you talk, you got certain, you concerned.
But no, there
Yeah.
are
Coming through.
but there are cases where you have endometriosis in the vaginal cavity, and even to have a pap smear or a normal vaginal examination is very painful because the deposits are there. So, any force, any entrance, sometimes you may have sex and, you're feeling all good and everything. After the sex is over, the pain comes, if you get bleeding, if you get spotting, you have a flare, you can have irritation. So there's so many different things that can happen. And I think that men needs to get educated as well because everybody thinks that endometriosis is a woman disease, but it's not a woman disease, it's a human disease, it's a family disease because the trickle effect, especially on relationships. I ain't gonna tell you, it ain't easy.
When you have kids to take care of and you can't get out of bed, that has happened to me. You're not working because the people let you go because obviously productivity is down when you're in this situation. Your child is young. You are on medications and trying this and trying that. I was at one point, my son was 10 and I could not get up to prepare anything for him to eat. So my son for a couple of days, those days when it's really bad, has to eat ramen, macaroni and cheese and that kind of thing. And you are unable to move. Sometimes the medication that they give you, a lot of the times it doesn't work. It spends, you go through years of trial and error.
Exactly.
They find something that works finally and then it stops working. But how do you explain to your partner in your life, to your family and to your children that I just cannot, I cannot move, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to keep down foods.
Exactly.
I am constantly in the hospital, I have to go and get this surgery, the next surgery, and nothing that they're doing
is helping.
It's
the Band-Aid.
And it's very hard on men because they can be there trying to help, giving you all the tea, giving you all the physical help, taking care of things, but it has no end.
Yeah, the emotional effect is very, very, very detrimental. And I remember being in a relationship where the support and everything was there, but it was hard because it's not just the relationship aspect, but you see when visiting time is over and you have to actually lay and watch your kids or your family depart from the hospital or the ward, that is where it's hit home. And for me, I think that not being able to do a lot of stuff because I don't think that a period should end a statement. Not a life. That's how I feel. And it takes so much from you. And I mean, when I say it takes no less than everything, I mean no less than everything. And it is like you're trying to explain or you're trying to cope. And you see, psyche, your mental psyche is something else that, because when endometriosis starts tapping to your psyche, you have all sorts of thoughts. Depression, I remember sitting up late at night, 3 and 4 o'clock on the phone, people want to commit suicide and because this pain is be so bad. And I mean, like, some people want to put you inside because don't care what you do, the pain never seems to stop.
All right, Pam said I went through that period of my man taking, it was avoiding him. It is frustrating to be in pain and can't do certain things. Also, Marcia is asking how sympathetic are bosses in light of this affecting women suffering from this as employees.
Well, I've met a lot of women in the organization that, lose jobs due to the fact that the hospitalizations, the sick days, etc. And that's why I keep pushing to say that we need to get the bosses au fait with everything that is going on. So we, as an organization, are looking to go into workplaces. We started already.
The name of the organization, but it doesn't be the organization.
The Katrina Endometriosis Fund Association
Better
of
known as
Barbados.
KEFA.
Better known as KEFA. We are implementing that we need to get into these workplaces and also the schools. It started last year doing a lot of outreach programs, schools, youth groups, etc. And for me, it is a case where men think that if they come over as an emotional creature or an emotional person, that it makes them look soft. But for me, when you're in love with some person and they say no, you don't got time to pretend and fake emotions.
But so, look at that, so when it's happening, when too pretty young lady. But it remind me of me when I was younger, you know?
Murder, you must have was a hot one then.
Of course. Still are.
How do you explain? But when I started posting after I joined the association, I started posting things. I had a lot of people going, I have seen you over the years, you look good, you look happy, you look whatever. So I never knew that anything was wrong with you. And I had to explain, you saw me on the good days. The days you were not seeing me, I was in my house or in QEH, occupying a bed out of the place.
Exactly.
So you would not see me when I am bad. I can't make plans. At least I couldn't.
But that's
plans.
really the ask, you know, because you be always what the mechanism so is that can happen anytime.
Anytime.
You've got a good month and a good month and a good month, but they play with you.
You can have a good day.
Exactly.
Pot goes
And
in
then,
the
and then literally pot goes in visa.
the bad blow,
Everything.
So that means that if you plan, you know, let me say you plan to go on a vacation with your family, you got some uncertainty in it because you saying me and my family, my kids or whatever.
Yeah.
We plan that the next 2 months we're going to say those for a little vacation or whatever. But then pot goes the visa, when the sun come up, the bad door where everybody know.
Yeah.
And saying that you lose a lot of friends too, because I remember I lost a lot of friends, you know, in the journey because we would make plans and say going out tonight, and when the night come, you can't even get out of bed to even put on a sock or soft wear. Not even a brassiere. You can't move. You gotta literally lay down and hope that you catch yourself. And most of the time you don't catch yourself for days. You don't catch yourself. So you know people will say, "Oh, man, I done about you anyway." Cause every time we make plans, you just got an excuse. But it's either two things that happen. It's either we can go
I'm my image rather.
and you can't enjoy the party, or we can stop home. You can go and enjoy yourself. And then tomorrow you can tell me how good the party was. So you can't pick a struggle. You understand? And it's really, really hard for women with endometriosis or any pelvic condition. Adenomyosis, to me, is bad like endometriosis as well. But, you know, they have easier treatments. But endometriosis is something that I would not wish for my worst enemy. And I've got much, but I would not wish it for them. Because it's nothing nice.
So the seminar is tomorrow evening, 5 o'clock, DB Southwinds.
Yes, please.
Admission.
Admission is $20 for the public, $50 for nurses, and $150 for doctors.
But the nurses
And
are very hot though.
includes credits because it carries CMEs.
Oh, I'm over that.
Which is credits. Every year, doctors and nurses need to get a certain amount of credits.
Okay. I didn't know that part. So nurses and doctors invited to come out, get your credits and whatever. General public is $20 and encouraging. You don't have to be a woman. If you was a man, you feel that your woman has got this kind of problems and everything. You can come out here. You've got daughters. You can bring your daughters. You can bring your women. Because some people even from one was telling me, son, he's got this problem, this condition, and you don't even know.
No.
Doctors just make misdiagnose sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes they just feel it's just a painful time in the month. They know better. Or somebody else ginger tea to drink, take back the air, you got gas or something. So you might not even know how school keeping. So if you don't have to be a woman, you can be a man. You can come out to the training Bobsy. They say they're trying to encourage bosses to who might got females and training working there. So you might be saying that she got to pretend because every month when she got surgery so bad that she can't work. So it's going to be good to come out sometimes, spend a little $20 and get a little thing. And if you're a woman that got the same issues, you can come out and hear from these doctors. Hey, y'all, this is about 4 or 5 doctors there preaching?
Yeah, 4 doctors and 1 psychologist. You know, so I need you to y'all come out, you know, get all the education you can. And then we're going to have a nuts and bolts session where, you know, he's going to break down how he's going to do the center. You're going to ask your questions because we always got questions. We always have questions to ask, you know, so come out, you know, let your voice be heard. and there's no stigma attached because sickness don't pick and choose. So there ain't no reason to be ashamed. You don't gotta worry about what nobody say because everybody that's got the skeletons, everybody's got the burdens. You understand? So come out, even the men, come out and don't feel that, oh, don't feel shame, because at the end of the day, you do not know what will happen. You could be happily married, have children, and with end of endometriosis.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't pick and choose to educate yourself.
But it's not a death sentence though. You're not dead yourself.
Well,
It could be.
you know, it affects so many areas, even your lungs. As I posted my article yesterday, I had a scary episode in 2017 and woke up, actually I went to sleep, eventually trying to get sleep after about 6 hours, couldn't sleep because the pain was not dying down. And finally get to sleep, then to wake up, can breathe, you know, all frantic, panicking. I was telling myself that I didn't die because I could not breathe at all, you know. Doctors rushed to my aid thinking I had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot, you know, and that wasn't the case. It was the endometriosis. So even something as simple as losing too much blood, you gotta get transfusions. I've had transfusions before. You know, you're walking, you're fainting out, you're blacking out because the pain that bad. You can't eat, you can't function, you know, and then some of the drugs that we are on because they are so strong and the side effects, you know, it takes a toll on your body. So you have to be very, very careful, you know, about what you put in your body also, because you might be trying to, you know, battle the endometriosis with the medications, but you damage the liver, you know, you damage the heart. So it's a lot of different areas that, you know, so you fix one thing, mash up something. So it's not a win-win situation.
I started saying, when my friend was diagnosed, we did not know what it was or the complications. I had heard about it, but never researched it until it hit home. I remember being at work some days and having to leave work to take her home or to the doctor due to the pain. However, this needs to be highlighted more other than in the month of March.
Well, I do it as often as possible, not just in March. Every chance I get, I'm always on the page, educating.
What page?
The Katrina Endometriosis Fund Association page, also my normal Facebook page, Katrina Cox. I normally do a lot of posting about endometriosis, so it's not just about endometriosis month, but you know, we try to elaborate more because of the month. But as I say, we're going to get things rolling more. So look out for a lot coming from us this year, the Katrina Endometriosis Fund, also known as KEFA. We'll be bringing a lot of information to you.
So they got a special ward in hospital for this year, or so, you just got there, so they drop you anywhere.
Nah, before is the gynecological ward.
Before you do what? No, before what?
Before is the ward. Before, B2, B3, before.
Okay.
Or wherever they can put you. I've been on the ward already.
Yeah, wherever they, because sometimes the beds there are no beds.
So you got a lot of women that get there with this thing there.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is, then unless they are open and telling you their experience, as we share that night, they would not know that somebody else in there has it. So you would see women in there, and because it's a surgical ward, you figure they come in for fibroids, they come in for this, that, and have to be more people. And Katrina learned that in there, that there are more people on this same ward with her suffering to varying degrees of this, because it has what, 4 levels?
4 levels.
Okay.
And you know, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because even though endometriosis has 4 levels, Tori, I may have level 1, Christina might have level 4, but Christina might not get the pain, even though level 4 is severe endometriosis, Christina might not get the pain that me at level 1 is having. So it all depends on the individual,
on where it is,
the location, the deposits. Marcia Blaze, the Katrina Endometriosis Fund has a bank account at the Republic Bank. So you can make donations there if you want to. You can also contact me personally on my Facebook, and we can interact as to how you can contribute. And before, as I say, it's a gynecological ward, and we started out last year doing our Endo Drive project. And our Endo Drive project is where we supply sanitary napkins and toiletries to the ward, because there are women that actually on the ward that don't have necessities. If they have emergency surgery, they have a miscarriage, something that happens, out the blue. We try to supply sanitary napkins and toiletries so that you can have these supplies. And we are going to next week, we are going to adopt ward before, and we would be providing before whatever needs it has, as I say, sanitary napkins, etc. So every fundraiser that we do, some of the proceeds would go to facilitating before.
One of the things that we would like to address with the association is the cost to women, just by having this condition, not being able to work. You need to consider, if you had enough pain that you could not get out of bed, it means you can't work. You're losing your job. You still have children. You still have a mortgage. You still have your life. You are without work. Suppose somebody covers all of that. You still have expenses. You have medical expenses. Just for you to be diagnosed properly with endometriosis, you have to have, there's no other diagnosis. You have to have laparoscopic surgery. That is a minimum of $3,500. Right? Yeah, I have paid for my first surgery. I paid close to $8,000 to get those two surgeries.
The first surgery I had was in 2005, and they didn't know what the tissue was, and I paid almost $8,000 for that one surgery.
Same thing.
And our hospital here, because of the resources, tends to take longer for us endo warriors to get laparoscopic surgery. And I would hope in the near future that the KEFA organization would have implemented some kind of structure where we can assist women in having these surgeries in association with the hospital, because it is a dire need for us to get diagnosis very, very early. Because the earlier you get the diagnosis, the more treatment and better treatment options we as women have of dealing with the condition endometriosis.
So Mia, if you listening,
Call me.
Speak up if you want to call me. We get the vote and watch here, so watch me now. I can lay in old school, give me that for ministries. So you want to put the women up a bed, everybody got $8,000 or $4,000 with their doctor. So you got to put things in place so that young girls, and say girls 16 and 17 you put a family, you get $10,000 class. Put things in place for young girls to get themselves sorted, you don't want bad blood to worry about them. Understand?
Yes, sir. And you say that, I remember they were talking about Barbadian women not having enough children. And infertility is a big thing with endometriosis women, especially if the endometriosis tissue block the tubes. The only option is to either have tuboplasty surgery or to have IVF. And one dose of IVF alone is $10,000. It's starting there.
You don't even know if it will work.
So you understand the calamity that going on here. You understand? So it's more than that. You have infertility, you have issues with actually sometimes even having, before going further, endometriosis has its own period as well. And this is where the tissue normally spreads, because you have a normal period which exits the body, but with the endometriosis period, you have internal bleeding, so there's no way for the blood to go. So you bleed for how long the endometriosis period is, and then it goes back in the abdomen. So, so that's where you have that collection of tissue build up all the time because it's something that is continuous.
Mercy, please.
Lisa, pads, let me tell you, I've been through pads like sweeties. We got them Mentos, so we just eat them every minute. Yeah.
You gotta wear the ones that you sleep in.
You understand? I remember
Whoa.
I had one episode where I was in hospital at the time, and I remember Nurse Francis. I just want to say thanks to her too, Nurse Francis.
That is. I don't want to diss the others.
Yeah, before her, some really good nurses.
But
some really good nurses.
They do, and she is who saved me.
Yeah.
More than once on that ward.
And your core mirrors too.
Yeah.
So the nurses on before look out for endometriosis because they know how it is to have endometriosis.
But that is no.
That is true too.
Years ago. And we are talking that many years ago. We talking 7, 8 years ago.
It's true.
When you go, this I want everybody to be sensitized to endo sufferers. I've been to the hospital already. My file is this thick by now. Everybody knows I have endometriosis. The doctor scans it, realize I have endometriosis. This is the thing, Queen. You have episodes. When we have painful episodes, what is the trouble is that not because we have endometriosis, it may have nothing to do with our ovaries. It depends on what is it affecting now. You need to have a doctor who not just reads the theory on endometriosis and sees a couple people pass through, but to be able to understand when we approach you, when we are doing accident emergency, what we want is not only something to deaden the pain. By the way, the morphine doesn't always work. That is the highest, and that doesn't always work.
I want to stop you there for a minute. And honestly, I think the wait for endometriosis patients is too long. You go to the hospital, and don't get me wrong, when you get into A&E, the doctors are very patient. They try to treat you best as they can.
Mm-hmm.
But the way, when you go to the hospital, you have already been to the doctor. You have already had 2 or 3 bags of drips at the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor realized, well, look,
this pain is subsided.
This pain is subsided, so it's either 2 options. You can call the ambulance. We have had that. I've experienced that more than one occasion.
I had to call the ambulance for myself.
All right, then you can call the ambulance for you, and you can go to the hospital. Most time you way out and you say, you know what, you go to the hospital myself because you know they're gonna go and make sure that you prepare your stuff and things, your clothes, etc. Especially if you live by yourself. You're gonna go and prepare these things. You're gonna walk with a suitcase. You understand?
All the time.
You there for hours. You in this excruciating pain. You might go and get a little tramadol injection and stuff like that. That is the pain. So you there for another 8-10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So time you get the IV medication, sometimes it takes a week or 2 for you to actually get that pain under control.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they need to put something in place where women with endometriosis are seen at within a reasonable time.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it makes not only your job harder, but it makes us more irritable.
Okay.
And somebody was asking if we get moody. Yes, we get moody.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when people ask foolish questions, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would go in the hospital and you will have 2 months good, you're back in the hospital, but you're in the hospital again? Yeah. And you're working from before. Because there's no way that you claim to be a friend of mine or associate of mine, know the condition, but every time it goes into the hospital, you make it an issue. Or you have some, it can't be that bad, it can't get no worse. Excuse me, no, I got my worst. I got my worst. Yeah, right now, I did try to quit for my life.
It can. This is what people don't understand. That it is not just a painful period. When I want doctors, I had a doctor say to another doctor, "Oh, she's an endo patient. Just give her some Panadols, Katrina. Like it's my big toe. Give her some Panadols." No. I address the matter because that is the way that I am. I don't let things just pass. This is my health, and I alone know. By this time, with this thing, I am not playing with anybody.
No.
This is my file. By this time, I'm not playing with anybody. So I had to actually speak to that senior doctor and say to them, "Listen to me. What I want you to understand is that I did not come here simply because I have pain. I came here because I could have gone to FMH. I came here because I need y'all to determine what is it affecting now." Katrina will tell you where her endo is. My endo was encasing my bowels and around both my no, I didn't get to the liver yet, boy. And then encasing my ovaries. So there is a small space, and you learn these things through the surgery. There's your ovaries are here, your bowels are behind. Because the tissue is going like scar tissue. Picture what they call growing flesh. This thing is scar tissue. They are now fused together. So if
all the organs.
yeah. So what used to happen, I will share this with you. This is what was happening in the early years, like the first 5 years. I had trouble, like you feeling that you want to go to the bathroom. And this pain is so great that you are sweating. You don't need to go to the bathroom, but your bowels are affected in such a way that it is constricted. Because my bowels were in that situation, they can't cut bowels, it would die. So when I was able to get a surgery, the second surgery that actually diagnosed the endo, finally, this is my body, all my insides fused together. And Dr. Chase said to me, if I wanted to cut away the tissue, because the whole purpose was to cut away the tissue. If I had cut that, you would have died. So now I'm stitched back up, and I still have the same problem. It went from that to it affecting my liver. Why I am stressing on people being sensitized to trying to diagnose, the doctors trying to diagnose what is it affecting now, is because I spent a day and a half in accident emergency, another 2 days on a bed upstairs in B4. And then one doctor came to me, saw my eyes, and then realized this woman has jaundice, which is my liver. Something is going on with my liver. So this thing is traveling. It is not just on your reproductive organs. It is taking up the entire of your abdomen. There are people who have died because piece broke off and went through their lungs. There is a lady I met. Her tissue is so small, but it's on her sciatic nerve. So this is a woman not able to walk, and you can't do the surgery as you would like because of where it is. So I want people to be sensitized. I want doctors more so to be sensitized to, yes, this person has endometriosis. It's more prevalent now, it's more on people's tongues. You realize this person has endometriosis, but what is it affecting now? If that doctor, and I have to say, Dr. Chase is wonderful. My doctor knows me by now. When somebody calls him, an emergency, Christina is having a crisis, he asks one question, 1 to 10. And based on that, that is where he will direct me. This thing causes things called chocolate cysts. I have 5. And when they rupture, I'm telling you, I've been through childbirth with a big head baby. I'm telling you right now, 13 hours of labor, only counting from the time I got in the hospital until he came out, cannot compare to the pain that chocolate cyst put me in, and I had 5. I was a bit like, I would be here talking to you, and it just ruptured. cold sweats. You can't sit,
vomiting.
stand, and people who work with me, and you don't know what to do for these people. So you have all of these different things going on. And the longer that the doctors leave you downstairs or even upstairs without doing scans, without doing the proper procedures to figure out what is going on, I almost died. Because you're gone to the, I've been to the hospital too many times. We've been to the hospital too many times. You go to the hospital, they know you have endo. That's not news. It's right there. What is it affecting now? And you're pretty much put on the bed to wait until another symptom pops up that lets you know something is going on. And when I had something rupture in my tubes, something went on with my tubes, I ended up in a crisis in going into surgery, and I almost died. I can tell anybody I almost died. This thing, everything was shutting down. Everything was shutting down. They then had to scramble. If they were able to not only get the ultrasound done and get scans done, but the results to come back. I have had that liver test. I still haven't seen the results for that. And that was about 8 years ago. So I've had this thing affect my bowels where it caused my intestines, my upper intestines to twist. And I had to be in the hospital for 5 days when it was on the diabetic ward, see? So they put you with it to keep you. 5 days, had to get my stomach drained. It is a lengthy process. I want employers to be sensitized to this person in your office or your workplace who is constantly being hospitalized. They're not doing it on purpose. They're not crying out for attention. Just to ask, how can I help? What can I do for you? There might be a medication out there that they are not able to get simply because they can't afford it. These shots cost.
The Lupron, the Lupron goes from about $3.50 and up, depending on where you get it from.
$3.50 was that too bad?
$3? I would have had $1 million in
And you
stock.
get 6.
You understand? And
It's $40 then.
$350
Yeah.
from certain places, and it can obviously it goes up depending on where you buy it from. And imagine you as a woman don't work, have no means of income, and if the little income that you have to challenge it. You have to pay your bills. You have to make sure your children good, food in the house, etc. So a woman that has severe endometriosis have exhausted all of her options. You know, surgeries, tissue removal, you name it. Then you end up you having to go on Lupron, and I can tell you about Lupron. Lupron is a chemotherapy drug used for prostate cancer and breast cancer. I've been on it 3 times. Actually, this is my 3rd time, and I can tell you about this drug. It works well when it gets into the system, but when you first put it in the system, I ain't gonna tell you, the pain is getting worse. So you already put a 10. So you're working with a 20 now. You understand? You're hoping that this 20 come back down to a 5 in, I would say, 2 weeks. And for them, don't work in 2 weeks. Sometimes you get 2 doses, which is 1 every month, and the pain has not subsided. You get hot flashes. For some people, I've never experienced them, thank God. You get hot flashes because they put you into a menopausal stage, so you know it stops the period. You get hair breakage. I remember me having my locks. I had to cut off my hair because my hair was breaking really, really bad. You know, you get fevers, a lot of dizzy headedness. Sometimes you're blackout. You know, you get palpitations. You know, you're vomiting. And the thing about it is the nauseousness. Let me vomit. But you see, dealing with nauseousness, being nauseous and can't vomit, let me tell you something. You literally feel like dying because it's stomach just there, and you, even though you jut your hand in your mouth, try to bring up, nothing is there. Sometimes you vomit to the point where you have nothing left to bring up. So you sit down with a bucket, a big mug of tea, and you drink it. And every time you take a mouthful, you're vomiting. So you just drink. You're not drinking because it can settle your stomach. You're drinking that you can have something to bring up because the chest start to hurt. your blood starting to come up. And I mean, I've had issues where I had to get endoscopies because I could not stop vomiting. And last year was a prime example. I mean, I was in hospital for 6 weeks. And that seems like a lifetime. 6 weeks is a long time. And I'm there, I cannot eat. Every time I eat, vomiting, they're giving me the gravel, they're giving me everything that you can think about too. The drips for me to get my stomach settled. I even had the kite throw, which is used for chemotherapy patients that have the radiation that is really ill and keep vomiting. I even had that didn't work, you know. So there's so much different things that you go through, and I've had so much surgeries. I mean, last year I only had 3 nerve block surgeries, and I want to say thanks to Dr. Nichols. She's no longer here in Barbados working with us, but I want to say thanks to her because she tried her best to make me as comfortable as possible. Yes, the pain has gone from 20 to 18, but I'm thankful. But yeah, and these nerve block surgeries are done with no anesthetics. So you feel everything because they are dealing with the nerves. So, you know, you gotta suck it up and you gotta bite the bullet. But you know what? You wanna feel better. So even if you gotta get water from the moon, you can go.